why would some people then want to add L-theanine to their coffee or take it in capsule form while they're taking their first sip? I'm going to share all of that with you, if it's right for you and who it may not be right for, and also the dosage that you should be taking. Welcome back, everybody. Glad to have you here today on the show. This is episode 2720 of the Cabral Concept. I'd love to be able to link up some research for you here today, as well as share the three big takeaways of the show like I do every single day. And you can find that for today's show at stephencabral.com/2720. Today, we're going to be asking a very interesting question, and that is, can adding a very simple and inexpensive substance to your everyday coffee add to improved health, focus, calm, and overall enjoyment of your morning cup or maybe even afternoon cup of coffee? So today, let's explore that. We're talking about a specific amino acid found in tea, and I will explain why tea is not necessarily the equivalent to coffee. Now, it doesn't mean that it's better than or worse than, but it's a substance found in tea called L-theanine. It's actually found in a very rare mushroom as well. I believe that mushroom is called bay bolete or bay bolete. And again, rare mushroom, you're not going to find it very many places, but your black or green tea will contain your L-theanine. Now, when we look at how much L-theanine is contained in tea, it's somewhere between 15 and 20 milligrams or so. And there's about 45 milligrams or so of caffeine, at least in green tea. Black tea will certainly carry more caffeine, but not necessarily more L-theanine, which is why it may also give you more of the jitters. So today, what I want to share with you is for those people that might have heightened anxiety or more jitters or just too much, like mind is all over the place, body's kind of moving and buzzing when they don't want it to be like that, but they still want what has been proven with coffee to be the high antioxidants, the brain cognitive-based booster, the appetite suppressant, as well as the athletic performance enhancer. You get all of that with caffeine, you get all of that with coffee. So what I always like to share is this: there is no all for one. So some people shouldn't drink coffee. They shouldn't drink caffeine. Now, they could do decaf. Keep in mind, decaf typically has anywhere between 10 and 13 milligrams per cup of coffee. So it still has a tiny amount, still has a little bit of caffeine, but for very caffeine sensitive people, you still want to be careful of that as well. So really difficult to get zero decaf coffee. There are some, meaning zero caffeine coffee out there, but there are some decafs. Most people do fine with decaf if you want the antioxidant-based potential, but it's the caffeine that gives you a little bit of that, cognitive booster, that athletic performance, and that appetite suppressant. So I wanted you to be aware of that. Okay, so again, why wouldn't you just drink tea for that? Tea, when it goes head-to-head with coffee, it doesn't give you some of the same coffee based benefits. So although it has the antioxidants, which is fantastic, and it gives you more of a sense of calm energy, it doesn't give you that real big boost in the big three that I spoke about before, which is kind of like the smart brain drug, the appetite suppressant, and the athletic performance. So there's a difference between when you drink coffee and when you drink tea. Again, not saying one is better than the other. If I had to look at like overall health benefits, I might give the edge to a matcha green tea. However, I know that most people prefer their coffee, myself included. So let's look at that. Why would some people then want to add L-theanine to their coffee or take it in capsule form while they're taking their first sip? I'm going to share all of that with you, if it's right for you and who it may not be right for, and also the dosage that you should be taking. Let's get into, though, L-theanine itself. So L-theanine, as I said, is an amino acid. It's found in two specific places from nature, more in the tea-based leaves and one specific mushroom. It has been proven to decrease the action of what's called excitatory neurotransmitters in the brain, the ones that produce more anxiety. It's also been shown to increase the neurotransmitters, more of the maybe healthier ones, such as dopamine, serotonin, and GABA, which can lead to more of a creativity, calm, happy, and positive outlook in life. So not bad from L-theanine. I think we could all use a little bit more of that. And then also L-theanine appears to have certain antioxidant-like properties as well as anti-inflammatory based properties for both the nervous system and the brain. Again, I can link up the research for you today at episode 2720 of the Cabral Concept. So here's why then we might want to combine L-theanine with coffee. And that's because caffeine, so I'm talking about caffeinated coffee, you don't really need to add L-theanine to your decaf coffee. I don't think that you're going to get the same benefits because it's the caffeine actually that's giving some of these benefits that people want. I may not have stated it before, but again, if you get anxiety, if you get accelerated heart rate, if you are more catabolic, someone that loses a lot more weight, you're dealing with fatigue-based issues, I would be careful taking in any caffeine at all. I would repair the mitochondrial health. I would repair the overall autonomic nervous system in fight or flight, look at stress, look at the adrenals, look at thyroid, and I would look at the gut as well. So I'd work on that. And again, I agree that caffeine is not right for everyone, right? And then there's also variations of that. I don't think caffeine should be overused. What I would say, though, is that adding L-theanine to it may help to mitigate some of those specific issues and actually add some benefits. So we can get caffeine without those low-level jitters that some people get. So adding L-theanine to caffeine helps to control that. And what they found in 2008, and I know it's going back a little bit, but all they did was add 100 milligrams for essentially a small cup of coffee, and it improved the ability of people to move between tasks and also attention performance. It also showed that there was greater improvements in reaction time, better memory working with numbers, increased alertness, decreased reports of headaches from caffeine, and overall crashes and tiredness of caffeine. So that's one of the nice things about it, is typically with a cup of tea, you get a slow rise in energy and then a slow decline. So you don't really feel the decline. But in caffeine, you get a rapid rise in energy and then typically a rapid fall as well. So you might be reaching for that next cup of coffee or snack or food or whatever it might be just 3 hours later. So really important to look at that. L-theanine also helps with what are called alpha waves. So they actually improve alpha waves in order to improve what I like to refer to as relaxed concentration. So you can focus on a task for longer. And that's a great thing without becoming distracted. So when you mix them together, caffeine and L-theanine, it may actually improve your energy, brain cognition, and then concentration. L-theanine will also increase dopamine. Now, here's where it could be an issue. For someone like myself who produces a larger amount of dopamine, caffeine will increase dopamine production, right? So I have to be careful not to take in too much caffeine. I only do a half decaf, half calf in the morning, and it's only once a day. I enjoy the ritual of coffee. I enjoy that being a part of my morning routine. I don't want to rely on it necessarily, but I like the antioxidants. I like adding that to my morning routine. I enjoy the ceremony of basically getting my coffee in the morning. But if some people add more L-theanine to that, they can actually increase dopamine to an even greater degree. So someone like me, when I talk about the dosages in just a moment, would have to be careful not to go too high in L-theanine because I don't want my dopamine too high. But if on the other hand, you're not someone that has as much get up and go, as much ambition, as much drive, any of those things, like dopamine is the reward center of the brain. You're ready to go, 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 go. If that's you, you don't need more dopamine, right? You actually need the decaf. But if you're someone that lacks the go, 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 the drive, the ambition, not because of chronic fatigue or Addison's or hypothyroidism, again, correct that first, but it's simply more, you're an endomorph or it's a little tougher getting going, then this may be very beneficial to add to your coffee as well. And then the last part is, I talked about it and alluded to it earlier, but if you want better mood, better calmness throughout the day, less anxiety, L-theanine may boost serotonin and GABA. Serotonin, think of it as the happy neurotransmitter, right? Antidepressive. And again, we're not giving any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, or medical diagnosis. And GABA, which is more of the anti-anxiety neurotransmitter. And L-theanine, this was just in a 2019 randomized trial, showed to be able to have the potential to promote mental health in the general population with stress-related ailments and cognitive impairments, all because it was able to improve NMDA activity, so reducing stress and anxiety, improving positive mood, lowering anxiety. All right. So now let's get into the dosage. I spoke before of like, why not just drink tea? Again, you can drink tea and there's no need to ever drink coffee. I'm not saying that, right? But when you look at blue zones, when you look at long-lived people, they did drink coffee or they drank tea. Like people drank something, okay? It's one of the, believe it or not, and I'm not saying this is a reason to do it, coffee, believe it or not, is the greatest source of antioxidants in most Americans' diet. I don't think that should be a good thing. I think it should probably be from like wild blueberries or something else, but pomegranates. But it's for the most part it is from coffee. So again, can we make coffee healthier? Yes. Now, can you use tea? Well, the studies have been done, and it's just that like green and black tea, they have concentrations of about 15 to 18 milligrams per cup of tea. And what we want for an effective dose is about 100 to 200 milligrams, with the lowest being 50 milligrams of L-theanine. So here's how you can do it. L-theanine is very inexpensive. I can't link to it from the podcast page, unfortunately, but I'm sure you can find a really good company that sells L-theanine. You'll be able to find that on your own. I will give you links to all the research, but you'll be able to find the L-theanine. It can come in powdered form, so you can just add a little L-theanine, 50 milligrams to start, maybe then 100 milligrams, then maybe 150, and then 200 milligrams maximum is what you'd want to use. Again, this is not medical advice or medical treatment plan, but use it at your own discretion. It's been around a long time, generally regarded as safe, etc. So what I would say is this, if your coffee is in the normal range of 150 to 180 or so milligrams of caffeine, use your 50 or 100 milligrams to start, and then you may work your way up. Try this over the course, let's say, of 1 week at a time. Do you feel better at 50 milligrams? Do you feel better at 100 milligrams? Do you feel better at 150 milligrams with your normal cup of coffee? You can't change that, right? You can't change the amount of caffeine or the coffee that you're trying, so use the same coffee, and then find the right dosage for you of L-theanine to your caffeine. Will it make your coffee healthier? Maybe, right? I like to say maybe. If you're someone that crashes after caffeine, if you're someone that gets the jitters, if you get a little bit too hyper, if you start to get more anxiety or in a accelerated heart rate, sure. Of course, decreasing your caffeine to doing some decaf would be helpful. I have a podcast, I'll link that up on how to decrease your caffeine without even noticing it. So we'll link that up as episode 2020 today. But also, you may want to try adding that L-theanine to your morning cup of coffee. Really easy, really simple, inexpensive. If you try it or you have tried it before, let me know how it went in the comments below. Thanks so much for tuning into the show. And again, all the research, all the show notes will be at stephencabral.com/2720 for today. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing rest of the day. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything. Functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.